Okay, 9 days was a big commitment, and but I'm feeling energized. When I see the feedback and I'm reading the emails and the posts and everything on Facebook, and thank you for all the comments. It just feels good, and that's what I want for you. I want you to be in a business and a market and a niche and doing what you love to do and being energized by it and still being able to earn an income doing it as well. Now, a few housekeeping things. Number one, I almost forgot yesterday. We got to light the candle. I do maybe need another flavor right now. Vanilla cupcake. That'll have to do. And someone had asked. Let's see. Rich asked what album. So I've been playing. I've been messing around. I've been put two albums up because that's how we're going. Today we've got Glass Tiger. We're going. This is for my Canadian friends. It's about. It's for Glass. They were a really underrated band of the '80s. I love some of their big hits. But anyway, Glass Tiger, and then my man, one of my all-time favorite singers. The voice is just God. I could listen to him all day. That's like my version of like classical music, Mr. James Ingram. Very very underrated as well. So a little bit of an underdog theme today with the albums. And after this class ends, and I'm going to start doing YouTube lives again. Watch for more albums. More stuff is going to be coming. Someone said, yeah, and Ken recognized James Ingram. So good, so freaking good. If you haven't listened to James Ingram, just go onto Spotify or YouTube and just listen because just butter. So, I mean, maybe look, that's kind of a cool thing about doing your own business. You could make whatever it is you want it to be. If you want to include music or movies or TV, or maybe you're into chess, do it. Infuse that stuff. We talked about that. So today we are going to build our product stack. This is a biggie, but let's do our recap first. Started class number 1 with our compass, figuring out where we're going, our strengths, our weaknesses, our interests, the gaps in the market, and then we had the 30-day video challenge, which some of you have been doing, which is incredible to see you already making momentum, and just testing ideas, not even products, just is this thing resonating? Can I build a little bit of momentum, getting you in motion? Today we're going to talk about testing paid products, but that was just testing some ideas. Then choosing your roles and what kind of brand you want to do and making those really fast decisions. Then we got into the flywheel, right? Putting all this down on just one page, your entire business, shifting the idea of not creating your site first and your product first, but thinking and attacking it from a traffic first perspective, reverse and different than what most people teach in this world. But I don't believe, I know this is what's going to give you the foundation, the way we've been doing this class and this program. Then creating your brand, and what is that vibe, and what does that feel, and how does it start to look, and how does it start to come together, and starting to think about the design of it, and the flow, and just the feeling, because you need that. You can no longer out-content other people. It's too much. It's too much. And just to try to be better and say, well, my fitness program is better than theirs is not enough. We have to infuse that personality and that vibe as well. Then yesterday's class was all about the flagship. And I'd say the toughest part about creating a program like this is it's so big, it's so massive, there are so many ways you can go. Unlimited. And it almost becomes a curse of when you start getting into this world and start learning about marketing, it almost becomes a curse of you knowing too much. Because you're like, oh man, okay, I could create a $5 digital product. I can create a $500 digital product. I can create a physical book. I could do it free plus shipping. I could do a webinar. I could do a regular sales page. I could do e-com. It's infinite, right? And then the business model and the product and the sales letter and the sales process. So that's why instead of trying to do a class and just have you drinking from a fire hose and giving you 7,000 different things, and then you're done with this class, you're like, well, now what? I wanted to really hone in on this power of constraints and say, forget all the noise right now, and let's just do one thing. Let's do something that I know works, because I know an X number of day program 99 times out of 100 will sell better than just a generic, here's a course. So, today we got supersized. This is kind of like 2 classes in one. It was going to be originally 2 classes, but I put into one because it made sense, and I want to give you a lot of really good tactical stuff now before we get into classes 8 and 9. What I want to do is hopefully, if you aren't on live, you've at least been able to watch the replay if you're in Backstage Pass. Did yesterday's class give you clarity, the idea of a flagship, and can you do this? Can you take this idea, these programs, this business model floating in your head and say, okay, I could put it into a 5-day or a 10-day, just as my front-end product. Give me a yes or yes. And if you did miss yesterday's class, and you are not yet in the program, you got to get in Backstage Pass. You have to. I also dropped a bonus where it was a case study. My friend, who's a big-time media buyer, did all the traffic for a woman who's in personal development. I don't want to say her name here. It's inside the Backstage Pass. And it was a 21-day personal development challenge, and 18,803 sales in 1 to 2 weeks. And he breaks down exactly how we got the traffic. So that was an unannounced bonus, and I put that in there yesterday. So just that alone is worth it. Get on it. RyanLee.com/backstage. So we're feeling good. We're feeling, okay, we've got a lot of people dropping in with some clarity here. Oh, you missed yesterday, but you got the Backstage Pass. It is, I'm telling you right now, the best $99 you'll ever spend. Now, I know this can be, and this should be a $1,000 or $2,000 course. But the fact I'm doing this for $99 with all these bonuses feels good. I have no hesitation to do it because I know you're just going to be blown away. And we're going to talk about this idea of front-end stuff and then rocking it on the back. So, big class today. Coming back here to the flywheel. So, front-end traffic, front-end offer, selling stuff on the back end, and then taking profit and keeping the flywheel going. And Ken said something. Is it possible to have clarity and slightly overwhelmed at the same time? That's where I'm at. Yes, it is. It feels like there's a lot, and I know by the end of the 9th class, it's all going to come together. Today, you're going to get a lot more clarity as well. Then, you just have to say, okay, I've got all the steps. Now here's what I'm doing first, and here's what I'm doing second. And just making it as simple as possible, especially when we talk tomorrow about the tech stuff, and just stripping down all this noise and all the bells and whistles that we really don't need. So I don't want to teach this stuff and have you guys overwhelmed and not do anything and say, oh my God, there's too many things again. That's why I focused yesterday on this concept of this simple flagship under a constraint, is because I want you to be able to do it. If I just left it open-ended and said, create any course you want, create any program, create any ebook, no one's going to take any action. So, oh, look at this. Val just said, for those of you who have not bought Backstage Pass, please, I implore you, the 99 is a great investment for you. You'll not regret it. Thank you, Val. And that is not a paid endorsement. So, thank you so much. So today, it is, just like yesterday, front and back end. So we're talking about front end. We're going to talk about making now this idea of a front end flagship work and bring in new customers and make sales and the whole funnel it's going to look like. And then selling stuff on the back end. Like, what are we going to sell and how are we going to position this? So looking at it from a larger view, the flagship is going to bring them in, and the stack is where the profit is. Now, at the top of this funnel, remember, you can do it either way. You can say, I'm going to do an email. I want to do an opt-in. I want to send people from YouTube, from Instagram, from Facebook ads. I want to send them to an email, a free email, and then sell them on the back. That's fine. Or you could send them directly to buying this product. Whatever it's going to be, eventually we're going to have to get them on. We're going to want to sell something eventually. So this idea is a flagship, some way bringing in some profit, right? Or at least break even. And then the stack is where the big income comes in. And a majority of people stop with one product, and then they can't grow their business. And then they get stuck. And they're a very wobbly business. There's no stability in it. Because once people know your one product, like, okay, they're done. Like, they're gone. So you've got to get out of the idea of a one product mindset, unless it's like a membership / recurring revenue. And that's the thing. And then you have people making purchases every month. That's a different story. I'm talking about one-off courses and programs, especially digital products. Because a flagship front end, remember this 7-day, 10-day, maybe $99 or $150 and under, is not necessarily meant to bring in a lot of profit on the front. In fact, it's meant to really be break even. Let me rephrase that. If you want to be serious about this business, it's meant to be break even. Because then all of the profit is on the back end, because then you could spend money to acquire people. If you don't want to get really invested in this, like go deep down this rabbit hole of building out a really successful business here, especially if this is during your second act, you're like, I don't really want to do it, then that's fine, but you're going to have to figure out, like, there's going to be a little bit tighter margin if you're doing lower cost products. So just know the kind of game you want to play. I had a conversation this morning with a friend of mine who wants to sell like a $200 health program directly, like a Facebook ad to that. And I said, that's going to be really tough to make work, because it's like right at the border. He's trying to play the middle, and it's really hard to play the middle. You almost have to go lower, like $50 and under, get him in, and then sell more stuff on the back end. Or say, I don't care about even the $200. I only want to sell a $5,000 thing, so I'm just going to get people on my list, and hopefully I convert 1 or 2 out of every 100, and I make my money. So you got to know the game you're playing. So the traffic flows in, right, from all these different things, whether you're being interviewed on a podcast or doing YouTube videos or email or Facebook ads or Instagram posts or someone promotes you. The traffic goes in, eventually finds its way to this front-end flagship, your $5, your 5-day, your 7-day, your 10-day, right? And here was a question. Don't unknowns need a lead magnet, then nurturing email series before the big pitch? No. Who said that? Now, when you say big pitch, if it's a $2,000 program, yes. Even if you are known, it's very difficult to go from someone click an ad to buying $2,000 right out of the gate. However, if you're selling a $50 product, no, you don't need an email and a warm-up. Not at all. That's a huge myth. You don't need it. In fact, sometimes it's easier to just go right for the sale. You have to ask yourself, are you good at email? Are you good at being back-end? Do you want to create a lot of products and programs on the back end? Do you want to make this like a businessy business thing? Or do you not? Like, do you say, okay, well, I don't want to do that. I want to just play at the other side and let me just create the products and programs and make it more simple and sell directly. And maybe I won't have as many people, but I'll make more sales. Do you want, in other words, would you rather have 10,000 people on your list and you're trying to sell them a lot of products and programs and constantly interacting? Or would you rather have 100 people who are buyers who just paid you to be on your list and you don't have to sell as many things? There's no right or wrong answer. You can make money in both. But you know yourself, and you all have to know yourself. And that's why I know I keep saying you could do it either way, but you really can. I'm trying to show you what I think is the easiest way. So the profit then goes, you bring them in, right? Get them into your flagship, and then it goes out. So once they're in, once they buy, here's other programs and courses, and here's a group, and here's a recurring revenue program, here's another offer, here's my journal, here's a paid product, like here's all this other stuff you can sell, or an affiliate program and you get commission. We're getting them in some way, and then the profit comes from there. Because when you have the economics nailed of your front, then the traffic source doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Everyone obsesses over the traffic, and you have to have a traffic strategy. But when you know what the offer is and your offer is working, then you can get traffic from anywhere and everywhere. And traffic changes, right? Traffic tactics change. What was working 20 years ago isn't necessarily working now for traffic. Some platforms are here, some platforms weren't there. Things change. It doesn't. It's organic. And the things that don't change is if you're on a platform, if you have a channel, you put your head down and you study it and you test it and you get better at it. That's it. And you stay consistent and prolific, consistently prolific on that platform, and that's how it works, really. So now let's start planning out this strategy and start building out all this stuff. Okay. So with that being said, I have a front end flagship, and what I want you to do if you're on here live, put in below what your thing is, what you're thinking right now for your flagship. And you don't have to say the title of it, but you can say it's a 5-day program, it's a 10-day program, it's a 6-day, it's a 9, it's a 21, anywhere from 1 to 30 days. If you want to put the title, you can, but just put something in the chat right now. I want to make this interactive to show that we're all moving forward and taking action on it. So just drop it in. I want to see where everybody is. Oh, and look at this comment. I'd recommend Backstage, a Ryan Lee regular here. Thank you very much. First member ever. Okay, we've got 14-day program, 12-month continuity, a 21-day, a 6-step, 21 days, 7 days, good. So the idea and the goal is to break even as fast as possible if we're going to do a spend. You don't have to do paid traffic, but if you can crack the paid traffic nut, it's going to sound cheesy and hypey, but you print money. You do. And that's why I teach this, because that's what I want for you. But not everyone's going to do it, and I understand. So when you break even, that's when you can get quote-unquote scale. Almost everyone who gets on these stages and they show, like, I'm sure you've seen it, 9 commas or whatever the club is, and they show all the awards. Almost every single one of them is doing paid traffic. Almost without fail. There are the exceptions, but almost every one of them are doing paid traffic. So, I'm updating the 3 numbers you need to know. Before I said there are 2 numbers, and there are 2, but I'm adding a 3rd one in. The first time is lifetime customer value. I spelled lifetime wrong. So what is each person worth over the course of their life with you? Estimate. Be ultra conservative. Don't assume that if you have a $200 product, a $300, $100, that they're going to buy everything. Assume they're only going to buy one. So what are they worth? And then how much do they spend on each order? What's the average order value? And we're talking about when it comes to paid traffic, here's what the math looks like. Okay, so the math looks like, let's say it's a $20 flagship front end. We're talking flagship front end product. And 25% of the people take an upsell. Now, an upsell we're going to get into in a minute. An upsell is after they already buy, you give them ability to buy something else. So they buy your 21-day How to Jump Higher program. And then after you say, hey, for another 30, you can get this other thing. And I'm going to lay out what's going to work. But you get this other thing. And 25% of the people, every 100 people buy your $20 flagship, 25 spend another $30. So if you average that in, it means $20 on the front, right? They spend $20 for the flagship, and another, on average, $7.50, right? Because 25% are spending $30. So 100 people come in. So does that make sense? Is everyone with me? So the average order value is not 20, it's actually 27.50. The higher the average order value, the more money you can spend or invest or pay affiliates or put into traffic or do whatever you want. That's why these upsells and this flow is really important if you want to do paid traffic on a lower cost product. Because the economics, as ad costs go up and marketing costs go up, it's getting tougher and tougher to break even with lower front end products. So, the third number I want you to know is your CAC. That's your customer acquisition cost. So how much does it actually cost you to get a buyer? Not per click. There's someone seeing your ad, there's someone clicking your ad, and there's someone buying. How much does it cost by the time they get through the process and actually buy? That's the cost you care most about. So when someone says to me, well, Ryan, how much should I pay per click? I have no idea. It depends on what your offer is. It depends on what you're converting, but it depends on how much it costs you to get the sale. So just to give you an example, right now, with one of my ads, it's costing me, the lead cost is through the roof. It's about $12 for someone just to click, to see an ad, click on it, and actually register to come here for free. But the numbers are working out where it is still very profitable because a certain percentage, I think it's 11 or 12% now, are actually buying from the ad and are upgrading to the Backstage Pass. So the numbers are actually working out. So, actually, I think it was down to $6. Whatever the numbers were, I was paying a lot, but I'm okay with that because the numbers are backing out. So so let's look at the numbers here, okay? So you have a $35 CAC. So meaning it cost you $35. Actually, I did the math wrong. I should have said 30 here. Let's say it cost you $30 to get a customer, and your average order value is $27.50. You're gaining, you're netting $2.50 every sale you make. Okay, I meant to say 30 here. $30. So by the time you get a click and someone buys, you're spending $30 to get a customer, and it's not going to cost you less than. Unless you're really good, it's probably going to cost you that or even more. I want to give you realistic numbers. If you think you're going to go onto any ad platform and spend $5 to get someone to pay $30, you're really unrealistic. It's almost impossible. That's why the numbers, you have to get that average order value up. So if I was spending $30 and my average order value was still $20, I didn't have any upsells, I'd be losing $10 a sale on the front. Now you could make it up on the back. But I'm talking about getting as close to break even on the front, because then you're getting your customers for zero, for free, then you're off to the races. Because every single sale on the back is profit. Okay? So your average order value, that's where the freedom comes into play. The profit, so the question, the profit comes from the back end, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Once they get on the list, it's all the back end. So we can't make the rookie mistake of thinking we're going to be profitable on the front. If you're doing paid, if you're doing free, then it's profit, right? If you're not doing ads and your whole traffic strategy is doing a daily YouTube video, or you're being a guest on podcast, and you make 6 sales a day and of a $40 or $50 product, $50 product, you make 6 sales a day, $300, and you're not spending money on ads, that's $300 in profit, minus, merchant fees and things like that. But in general, a lot of profit in a digital product. So that's different than if you're actually running paid traffic. But when you know this, when you know your numbers, at least on the most basic level, you just spend more, right? So in general, obviously, the lower the price, in general, is going to bring more people in. But that means the upsells have to do more heavy lifting. the lower your price, it's going to bring in more people, but you have to make it immediately so you don't lose money. Okay? So front-end flagship pricing, anywhere from $5 to like $99. What I'm seeing right now, $39, $49, in that range, tend to be a pretty good price. Even $39 seems to be pretty solid. Seems to be a good winner right now, where you're giving yourself a really good chance to get quite a good number of good customers in, and you're getting closer to a break even. Okay, so depending on your market and your positioning, but that's a range. So if you have a product and you want to sell it for $1,000, that's fine, but it's going to be really, really hard to sell it from someone clicking an ad and immediately buying. They're going to have to get on an email address, and they're going to have to do a webinar or a video sales letter or get on the phone or something. It's going to be a little bit of a longer process. So here's some creative pricing for a front end. X number of days for X number of dollars. Here's my 21-day program for $21. It just has a ring to it. So you can get creative with pricing. So people are like, oh, okay, you don't have to explain why it's priced at a certain point. It's 21 days for $21. Pay what you want. I've done a few experimentations with pay what you want. In general, you're going to get more people in, but less per cost. Maybe here's what I should do. I haven't uploaded it, but I did an interview with a buddy who was selling his book, and he actually did it as a pay what you want and a free plus shipping. And I have not released that case study. It was going to be for Freedom about 2 years ago, but it was really, really good. He did over $2 million with it. So let me find it, and I'm going to upload it to Backstage Pass. Boom! There you go. But I'm going to find it. It's somewhere. It was really, really good. He broke down his funnel, how he did it. But with a pay what you want, here's the most important things you're going to have to know. Is number one, you have to give what the suggested retail is. You can't just say, here's my phone case, pay what you want, because no one has any, I don't know, is it $5? Is it $20? They have no concept. If you say, hey, here's my phone case, it sells for $30, but pay what you want or pay what you can. And then once you get a little data, then you can say the average person pays. So give them a little bit more of a target. Hey, get my phone case. It retails for $30. The average person, pay what you want, is paying $23, but pay whatever you want. Now they've got a number to compare. Those two numbers are really, really important if you're going to do a pay what you want. I did a pay what you want for a recurring revenue program, a membership. I had some people paying $20, some people paying $30. One guy was paying $100, and then I had a bunch of people paying $1 and $2. It's the nature of the beast. I ended up with more people than my average program, but less revenue. So I compared it to a $77 a month newsletter, and the $77 a month newsletter, while it had less people, was more profitable. So do you want to have more impact, more income? There's no right answer. And then free plus shipping, it's a model that still works, and I did that with our supplements. Just be prepared for a lot of pushback with people saying, well, it's not really free because you're making me pay for shipping. And if you charge outrageous numbers for shipping, it's gonna kill the offer. If you charge, hey, I'm shipping my book and it's $20, they're gonna say, well, you're just taking advantage of me. But free plus shipping can still work. You just have to be upfront and honest. Say, here's my cost for shipping, and pay this, and you get the book for free. And then the upsells have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And this was one that I did for our supplements that I scaled pretty well. We were doing 15,000 a day, where I did our greens. I gave them, I think it was 6 green samples of our different flavors, and it was free plus shipping. I think it was $5 or $6. I tested different pricing. I think I ended up at about $5.95 shipping, and we were selling a lot of them. But it was. Remember I talked about days, right? It was a 1 day, not 6 month. It was a 1 day. And that's where, like, I was really experimenting with this concept of the day. Like, I did it with my book, with the info, and I'm like, wow, it works just as well, if not better, with physical products. So you have to balance between the AOV, the average order value, and annoying people. In one of my coaching programs, I went through a funnel where one of these guys in the health space did a free plus shipping book. And I said, I'm going to buy it now in real time. I entered my credit card, and I said, let's see how many upsells. And were any of you on that class? Anila, you were probably in that. And I think there were either 9 or 11 upsells. Insane. Hey, get this other book. Hey, don't worry, get these 5 books. Well, then get these 2 books, and get this program, and get this program, and get this water filter. It was bizarre, and you do that, and maybe it brings up your average order value a couple of pennies here and there, or a dollar here and there, but you destroy all the goodwill you have with 99% of the people who just bought. So it ruins all your chances. So if you want to play the game of, I don't care about long-term value, I don't care about helping people, I just want to make as much money as humanly possible right now, because I don't know if I trust my back-end stuff, then that's what you do, but I don't like that. I don't think that's a good way to do it. So you have to have this balance between having an upsell. And how many of you, someone just said video not working. I don't know what that means. But anyway, have you guys ever been through that, where you've bought something and there's like 4, 5, 6 upsells, and it just ruins it for you? It ruins the whole experience. My dad is so sensitive to that. He goes, I bought something and they tried to sell me 3 or 4 things and I just canceled, I refunded. So be really careful. And that's why you have to be careful which marketers you listen to. So I like thinking long term. It's awful when you go through that stuff. Yeah, Lonnie just said I went through a funnel, I had like a dozen upsells. It is just a terrible user experience. So here's my favorite. This is what I've used. I actually don't even use this anymore. Right now, I'm just using one upsell. Like, even if, depending when you bought this, if you're on here live watching and you bought this program, you saw one upsell, right? For an extra 4 classes of just live training. I shouldn't even be saying this because we have more, but anyway, I don't care. I'm being transparent. And it's going to change depending when you buy this. If you buy the recordings later, I'm not going to be doing that. Right now, the upsell is you buy the Backstage Pass, and it's like, hey, if after these 9 days together, you have a lot of questions, we're going to do 4 live classes, just Q&A. Q&A, hot seats, just me answering all your questions for just, instead of like the $500, which I usually charge for 4 more sessions, it's $89. And I have to look at the numbers, 36% of you guys are taking that. But that's it. That's the only upsell. I don't have anything else. And I have not received one complaint. Because it also made sense. We'll talk about how to upsell and what to do. So that feels good for me where I am now. But in some of the things, if it's like a newer market, and if I really wanted to try to scale it like crazy, this is the upsell flow that I used, where you start with a bump, and we'll go through each of these. Then you have an upsell. If they say yes, great, here's something else. If they say no, well, how about this other thing? And again, I'm going to show you. And whatever they say, then you have one more offer. I'm rethinking this because I think today I might actually eliminate upsell number 2. It depends on how much you want to push it. And some marketers will be like, that's it? That's all you have? So at minimum, you're going to see 2. You're going to see upsell 1 and upsell 2 if you say yes to everything. And at max, you're going to see is 3 things. Upsell 1, if they say no, here's a downsell. And whatever they say, there's 1 more. So you're going to see 2 or 3 things. I'm doing 1 right now, but I might actually eliminate upsell 2. But you have to look, because you might, if you're running traffic and you're looking at it, you might say, you know what, no one is taking upsell to. It's not even worth it because 100% of people saying no, or 1%, it's not adding enough and I'm annoying people. It's just not worth it. So, yeah, there you go. But also, like, tell the truth. Don't say you're never going to see this again, and then they see it later. And we'll go through that now. So here's what it looks like. So first thing, baby got bumps. So what I mean by a bump is, what do they see before they check out? This is before they give you the credit card. So you go to the cart, add to cart, and it says, hey, would you like to add this to your order? You've seen that. It's not after you've already paid. This is before. This is before you're about to enter in your credit card, and it's like, would you like to add this to your cart? It's the equivalent of going to the supermarket and those racks right before you check out. You know, oh, I'm going to pick up a pack of gum or Tic Tacs or Inquire, I don't know. You know, like the little impulse things. It's just a little, hey, it's a few dollars more, here's the thing to add to it. It's not necessary, and depending on the shopping cart you use, some of them you can't do it. Most marketer-based carts allow you to add a bump. Shopify, that's a big thing, is adding a bump. But it's not necessary, but it's something to think about. On this version right now of this offer, I do not have a bump offer. It's just a straight up one. So here's some different ideas for bumps. Number one, and we're talking about things where you don't have to create anything new, could be just adding email coaching. So this is one offer for a health program that they're selling, and it's, you click the button, yes, I'd like to add 30 days of VIP one-on-one email health coaching to my order for $49.95. So that's easy, right? Email coaching. Ask me questions, I'll answer your questions. So it's funny, some of you are adding your things here. One upsell is my level of acceptance. Beyond that, I get super annoyed and I'm less likely to tell a friend. Yeah. But here's the thing to remember too, is we are not necessarily our customers. So we cannot project what we think, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Steph, at all. But we have to also look at numbers and see like kind of how it looks too. But sometimes we do project, and we'll say, oh, when I do this, it annoys everyone, when in fact it doesn't. But I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just saying we do have to be a little objective too. So bump idea number 2, adding journals and checklists. So you have whatever it is you're selling, you're saying, oh, add this journal. Maybe it's a digital journal or a digital checklist. A digital journal, remember, they could just print it out. It's in a PDF file. Print out your own journal. That's a layup. That's a no-brainer, right? And those can upsell. You can add a bump, $5, $10, $20, all profit, and something they're going to find useful. These are things that are just going to add to the offer. Audiobook, I have one right here in this program. Now, it's not a bump, it's included, but if you're selling a digital product, it's a digital, more PDF, it's very easy to add the audio book. You don't even have to say it yourself anymore. If you don't want to read it, do the audio read, there's AI now where you can actually record, you can say a few sentences and then it takes your voice and actually reads your book. Or you could have a different voice. You could have it sound like Morgan Freeman reading your book. You just upload the copy, the text, and it spits out the audio for you. So, and audiobooks have a high perceived value. I love audiobooks. I actually prefer them because I could do it when I'm working out and when I'm walking or driving versus having to, I love reading regular books, but I like audiobooks as well. So if you're doing a PDF program, an audiobook is a really nice bump. And then you could have something that's adjacent to it. So their health offer says, well, I want to add a 21-day total body transformation, weight management, and cleansing program for $9. So the front end was like a stretching program, and this is something that's related. It's kind of adjacent, but it's not the exact thing of what you're doing. And we'll go through some ideas here. And another one is printouts and handouts. So this, for the stretching program, is I'd like to add detailed printable stretching PDF and wall charts for every routine to my order for $12. Yeah. So more digital products that support the program. Let me see if I could find one. Yeah, so let me show you what this looks like in where I found these. They might have changed it recently. Let me share my screen so you can see what this looks like. So here's an offer, 30 days. This is a stretching program, so this is a lower priced flagship. So you get the whole stretching program, $37. When you go to order, oh, they give you another 17 right there, 17 off. Oh wait, that included all the other things. Okay. This then, before you take that, this is what I mean by bumps. Before you actually put your credit card in, you're able to add this to the card. They're using ClickBank, which is a third-party card, but these are different programs you can add to it. And that just increases your average order value. With the 30-day email coaching program, what if many sign up? Would you have time for that many? I wouldn't worry about that. Because the reality is, even if you're selling 50 a day, like 50 front-end programs, and you get 10% to take it, that's 5 people. And the truth is, even if the 5 do it, only 1 is even going to email you, which is really sad, and I hate saying that, but that's the truth. I would not worry about that. That's the last thing we should worry about, is if you're going to get too many. Let's get them, and then you can figure it out. That's what I say. Let's make the sales. Let's not hold the brakes, because you're going to be fine. And bump number 6 is transcription. So if it's a video program, just like this, the way I do it is I take the audio, I run it through Descript, which is the video editing I told you about. I actually have Descript remove all of the ums and ahs, because it transcribes everything. It says ah. It's actually going to remove this. It removes them automatically, and then I'm just going to remove those i's. I then have it as a clean transcription. Just reads better than seeing ums and ahs and having to try to edit that. That's another really easy way to add a bump. But those are different than upsells, right? That's a bump before the sale. An upsell is once they buy, the credit card is processed, now they get a chance to buy something else. So here's the magic of doing a program that is a certain number of days. Okay? Here's the power. You're giving them more of what they just bought. That is the world's best upsell, is more of what they just bought. And I learned that with my first supplement company, because we would try to do cross-sells. People confuse an upsell with a cross-sell. And an upsell, let's use McDonald's as an example. An upsell, you just bought French fries, and they said, would you like to upgrade from a small to a large for $1 more? Or an ice cream from a small to a large, or a medium to a large? Or Starbucks from a venti to a grande, whatever that's like. That's an upsell. You're selling more of what they just bought. A cross-sell is you go to McDonald's, I want a burger, would you like fries with that? They call it an upsell, but that's not an upsell, it's a cross-sell, because it's something totally different. When you're selling something on the front end, and you're selling, like that example, the 30-day stretching program, all of the copy, all the marketing is about selling that concept of this stretching program, or getting over a divorce, or flipping a house. It's all about that. So if immediately after you try to sell them something else, you have to get them to shift gears and say, okay, well now here's something completely different. and then it's a new concept versus giving them more of what they just bought. So with the supplements, at first we would sell them our Omega product, which was our krill oil, which people loved. And we tried one where it said, okay, congratulations, here's your krill oil. Would you like to also get our multivitamins? And then we tried like a protein, and it just wasn't working. And then we shifted to, hey, you just bought 3 bottles of krill oil. Would you like to upgrade and get 3 more bottles for just another X amount? And conversions went through the roof because they're already in. They're already invested and they're committed to what they just purchased. Same thing even with this program, the boot camp, right? You're in, you get the concept. Hey, would you like a few more classes? Yes. I didn't say, would you like to buy this other thing? So giving them more of what they just had. And the beauty of your days program, 3 days, 7 days, 21 days, 30 days, you already have this built in. And I did it with my cleanse, where when we started selling a 7-day cleanse, I'm going to show you what this looks like, right? So this is my favorite, and it works like a friggin' charm. It works so well when you do this. So the first upsell is whatever your day's program is, you basically say, hey, would you like 3 times more results? So give them 3 times as many days. So if you sold a 7-day on just before, right? Hey, it's a 7-day, whatever, jump higher program. Congratulations, you're in. Would you like to upgrade it 3x? We're going to give you 21 more days. Actually, no, it's another 14 because you're actually 3xing. So you're basically giving them more of what they just bought. So you say, hey, you just bought the 7-day program for $10. How about another 14 days for just 17 more? So they're getting a deal and they're getting more of what they just bought. And you're just giving them a longer program. Does that make sense? Like this is the game changer for the information space, for the advice space, for a really simple front-end flagship that can get your average order value up. Because these convert really, really well. A 14-day, hey, congratulations, you bought the 14-day program for $20. How about 28 more days for just $29? 21-day? So you just basically double the number, right? But you're giving them 3 extra results. 42 more days for just $29. Now it feels like a bargain. Does this make sense? Does everyone get this simple concept, which is so powerful? I can't tell you how well this works. And I like it because it's easy for us to grasp. And it's easier for us to do because we don't have to create something brand new. You just extend it. Just extend what you did. And you don't have to resell them. That's why they work so well. So you could say something as simple as, thank you so much for buying my 21-day program. If you want to get X results, X more results, upgrade and 3X your program. So instead of 7 days, you're getting 21 days. So you get an additional, so it was 21 days, you're getting an additional 42 days for just X dollars more. Click the button to upgrade for instant access. It doesn't feel dishonest, it doesn't feel sleazy, it doesn't feel like you're trying to pull one over on them, and you're playing fair. You're not making it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a few minutes, but it's when you play the game of, here's the product they just bought, and then you have an upsell, and you've probably seen this, where maybe you bought, whatever, a weight loss program, and then, thank you for your order. But if you really want to lose weight, we just gave you nutrition, you got to have the exercise. You have to. The program you just bought doesn't work without this. And then you're like, well, what do you mean? I just bought the program. So that's when it feels like a bait and switch. And that's where people get really annoyed. As opposed to, congratulations, you're in. You bought the 7-day program. You're going to love it. You're going to feel great. You're going to drop 3 pounds. You're going to feel amazing. However, some people want a longer program and they want more. Maybe they want to lose 20 pounds or 15. You can upgrade. You can get X more days at a discount. Here you go. Does that feel different? Doesn't that feel better? It's a totally different thing. So you cannot do a bait and switch. It's such a terrible way to market, because it's going to increase refunds, and it leaves a really bad taste in people's mouths, even if they feel like, okay, now I have to pay more money to do it. So if they say no, then you can have a downsell. So you just said, hey, 3x it. So go from 7 to 21 days. Say, hey, look, I get it. So instead of going from 7 to 21, instead of getting 14 more days, just get 7 more days. Let's just double your results. And that's what I did with the cleanse. And when I did that and experimented, we got almost 20% more sales. Just people saying, you know what, you're right, I'm going to double it. I didn't want to spend that much on AAA, I'm just going to double it. Now you can cut it there. But it's a really simple, powerful flow for an upsell for this type of front-end flagship program. So, hey, I understand you don't want to spend an extra 42 days. You don't want to spend on an extra 42 days. So how about we double your program? Right? Just 21 more days for X amount. Extra 20 to 30% sales from doing this. You don't have to. I'm just saying it's worked really well for me and for my students who have implemented it. Really well. And will you get complaints? You'll probably still get 1 or 2. You're never going to make everyone happy. That's okay. You're never going to get 100% happiness. But with one upsell, you're probably not going to get any. With an up and a down, 1 or 2, but it's really not. I haven't seen a lot of pushback. Here's how it looked with one of my programs from years ago. That was the, I don't know, the 20-year something, 30-year-old me maybe, where I had a newsletter. I was giving them the ability to buy my 12 archived issues of, I think that was my recurring revenue report. So I basically said I think it was like $99 or something. I said, hey, for $99, buy 1 issue, get 11 more for free. I think 40% upgrade we had for this. And then my downsell was, hey, you don't want it? I totally get it. How about you buy 1 and you get 6 free? I'll give you my best of. So what you have to do when you do a downsell, so a downsell is if they say no to that first thing. If you're going to do a downsell, here's what I recommend. And a lot of marketers disagree with me, but I think it's a cleaner way to do business and a better way. I know I sound like such a goody two-shoes. Look, I love marketing. I love selling, but I like having people feel really good and be with me for years. I think that's why I still have a good reputation, because I don't play the games that they play. What they'll do, and this probably sounds familiar, is they'll say, hey, upgrade, congratulations, now buy my Super Douchepreneur course for $1,000. You know, you too can take pictures with your Lambo. It's $1,000. And you say, no thanks, I'll pass. Or they'll probably make you click a link that says, like, no thanks, I'd rather be a loser for my whole life. You know, they try to twist the knife. And then the downsell is, hey, I get it. So you know what? I'm going to do you a favor. Instead of $1,000, how about you give me $300 and it's yours? And what happens is, what do you start to think? You start to say, well, what about all the other poor suckers that just spent $1,000 on it? And what if that was me? And now you have this distrust. Even if I end up buying the $300, and that's why some marketers don't care. They're like, I don't care. I just want to make that sale. So I think that sets a really bad precedent, and I think people will just not believe you anymore. And I think you have to be honest with that stuff. Look, I have one person, he might be on here right now. I'm not saying this to pick on him. He's been attending all the live ones, and he said he slept through, and he was actually illegally recording the YouTube screen, and he admitted it, and said, I couldn't record it, or the recording messed up. Can you please give me class number 3 for free? I said, well, it's in Backstage Pass. And he's like, I know, but I missed it, so can you just give it to me for free? And I said, I can't, because it's not fair to everyone else who bought it. And he's like, yeah, but just give me the transcription. And I said no, not because I can't, not because it's not easy for me to just send him the PDF file, but it's not fair. It's not fair. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like when you start selling out and you start sacrificing your ethics, even something as small as that, where does the road end? Like, what other shortcuts do you make? And I admit, years ago, when I was going through my dark phases, after my mom passed away, and I lost millions of dollars with our supplement company, and I started like going into debt, I went full, like someone likes my douchepreneur comment, I went full douchepreneur. And like, I was really aggressive with my marketing, and I was definitely selling things I probably shouldn't. I mean, all my stuff I think was always good, but I was definitely more aggressive and would have pushed harder on upsells and downsells and things like that. I still wouldn't have done that, but I know what it's like to kind of feel the pull. But I think you just got to stick to your guns and say, this is what I'm doing, and this is the offer, and that's what it is. I don't know if that person is annoyed with it. He's probably annoyed with me that I won't give it to him. He probably thinks I'm selfish. But I think he has a sense of entitlement. It's like, I'm giving this thing away for free live, and if you can't make it, that's on you. Or you can buy it like everyone else is doing. So, anyway, I'm not here to give a moral lecture. You know, I'm certainly not perfect. But I think if you're going to have a downsell, then what you can do is you can remove a bonus. So if the upsell was, hey, get these 10 things, and there was a couple of other things in there, and they say no, hey, you know what? We're going to lower the price. I'm taking away these 2 bonuses, but you're going to pay less. So that's the way I would do it. I would not, I wouldn't lower the price without removing something. You have to always think long term with this business. So then upsell number 2 is, this is optional, right? They go through upsell 1, downsell, and then upsell number 2 is where you could do maybe a premium product or continuity. And for those of you who don't know what a continuity is, it's a recurring revenue program, a membership site, a newsletter, software, something where people are paying monthly. And this could be anywhere from $50 to $200 to $500. I actually had one. What was it, upsell 2? It was one upsell where they were able to get a whole bunch of my products, like my best stuff, for I think it was like $500. You're going to get less people, but you don't need a lot of sales. If you get 5% of the people to spend $500, that's another $25 of value that adds. That's $25 more you could spend on the front. So that's a lot of money. Dana, make marketing ingredient. Thank you, Dana. But it still has to be complementary to your flagship product. It can't be something that makes no sense. You can't give a program on how to save your relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then your upsell is, hey, get my private label rights to a 6-pack abs crypto product. It's what? You'd be shocked how many people do that. So it's got to be related. So for example, your flagship is a 21-day intermittent fasting program. This upsell, after you say, hey, you want more days or less days, is maybe it's 21 days of workouts. Now again, you position it as, hey, you have the 21-day intermittent fasting program. You're going to get amazing results with that. However, what I found is some people want to do workouts. And if you do, you're going to like these. You see the difference versus, hey, you bought my 21-day program. If you want to get results, you need to do this workout program. And now you feel like you're forcing me to do something. When people feel like they're forced into a corner, they claw out of it. They don't like that feeling. And marketers have been teaching that for years, to like be so aggressive. And it just doesn't, it not only is terrible customer experience, it doesn't work as well. Like, that's the thing I've been saying to them, it doesn't work as well. But they don't know, because they won't even test my way of marketing. But you're here, my friend. So you're learning the right way to do this. So, flagship 21-day post-divorce joy, right? Upsell number 2. So now it's like, well, maybe you want to start dating. Well, here's a program on how to date as a single parent. That could be upsell number 2. So what are premium ideas? An online workshop, exactly what like we're doing right now. You can create an online training workshop using Zoom, using StreamYard, however it is you want to do, whatever tech stack you want to use. Record the program, sell it. In person, I showed you this, I think, yesterday. This was when I rented out, no, actually, that wasn't the coffee shop. That was my old Rewind office where I had old arcade machines and stuff. And I did a full-day workshop. I charged $1,000 for the workshop, and I had a professional video guy come with, I think it was a 3-camera shoot, and we recorded the whole thing. It was all about how to build your e-com company. So, it's another idea. And it doesn't have to be at a coffee shop or a hotel. You could do it out of your house. Invite a few friends to come over. I've done these. I once rented out a conference room. We recorded one. I did one out of a house. I did one out of a coffee shop. I did one out of my office. I've done them outside. What it does is it forces you to actually do something, because if you have a date in the calendar, like you're going to get it done. And you could charge people, or you could just let in people for free. But I prefer live because it's a different energy. I like the energy of doing things like this live. Like I could have done this course pre-recorded, but I don't know if I ever would have got it done. I'd probably say, I'll do it next week. You could do a coaching package, right? So a package of work with me either through email or through Zoom calls or through a combination for X number of dollars. I've started to loosen up my coaching stuff. Like I don't take on any. I actually have one client right now. It's a guy who used to work with me years ago, and he kept saying, Ron, you got to help me again. So, but I said, I am not committing to doing weekly calls. So basically I said, look, you have access to me. We're Facebook friends. He just messaged me questions and I answer, and I'll do an audio record. I'll say, okay, do this, try this headline, try this, and I send it back to him. And he's happy and I'm happy because I'm not locked into a call. That works for me. And find the structure that works for you too. But you don't want to take on coaching and coaching packages and coaching clients if you dread it. The minute you start dreading it, it's just not good. So, thank you. By the way, who is that first member ever? I don't know which name that is, but thank you. This is great stuff. And by the way, if you are enjoying it, you know what you could do if you haven't yet. Upstage, ladies and gentlemen, this is sponsored by the Backstage Pass. RyanLee.com/Backstage Pass. Get all these recordings. Get all 9 classes, all the bonuses. It's really good. Let's continue. Coaching package is premium number 3. Number 4 is a best of. So I did that with my newsletters, where I took all of my newsletters and sold them as a package. I did it with my previous courses. I think I packaged up, 6 or 7 courses and sold that for $500 as an upsell. So think about things you've done and how you can package them together as like the best of. I think I called it Ryan's Greatest Hits, because why wouldn't I? So have fun with the name. So best of, greatest hits. I've also called it like everything but the kitchen sink, where I give them all my stuff. So those can work as you get more prolific. And then a recurring revenue program that supports your flagship product. So something that's related to it. So for example, when I had my book, this one, I packaged a newsletter with it. So it was a print newsletter, and I don't think it was an audio CD. I actually can't even remember. And the newsletter was $19.99 a month. But it supported it. So every month they got new business advice and workouts. It was like a 2-for-1. So it supported it. It was the same brand, the same name, and it was just a natural extension of it. Zoom coaching and or community, which is pretty easy to run. You could make them either where you're the expert, the person doing it, or you're more of a host. We talked about that role as being a host, where you're bringing on guests. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. So, group coaching programs, and these have values on the low end. If you're offering it, like if you're doing a YouTube channel and you want to call it, JJ Plus, and it's like $20 a month, or you want to have more of a premium experience, it could be $50, $100. There are some people that charge $500 a month for like one monthly Zoom. I tend to price mine, like right now, my OPE Plus group, it's $99 a month, and we do trainings every other week. And it's a private group where you can ask me questions. But, and that's a price where I feel good. I feel like they get a ton of value, and I'm not charging $10,000. So charge a price that is appropriate for your market and feels good for you, and you think is a really good value. Continuity idea number 3 is fixed term email lessons or plans. If you're in the Backstage Pass, that I believe is uploaded already, the case study with Jeff and how he has that evergreen recurring revenue program where they had 26,000 members. But basically, it's programs that, when I say evergreen, I mean it's topics that don't change a lot. So if it is, if you're teaching crypto, it's very hard to create a lesson today on how to invest in crypto or when to sell the latest stuff happening with crypto, creating it today and then selling it 8 months later because it's going to be outdated. Same thing with advertising and marketing. So it has to be something that doesn't really change. So if I'm giving you a recipe today for tomato soup, vegan tomato soup, and you buy today, you sign up and you get the first issue with the vegan tomato soup recipe, it doesn't matter if Jenny joins 6 months from now and she gets issue number 1, the soup hasn't changed. The same recipe. Same thing with a workout, same thing with personal development, same thing with meditation, same thing with fixing a car. So it has to be evergreen. It has to be stuff that doesn't really change. And it's usually in health, self-improvement, hobby type stuff, versus if it's new, cutting edge, this isn't going to work. But you build it ahead of time, and then it's dripped. Okay? So, create it once. Everyone who comes in, no matter when they come in, they get issue number 1. If I come in today, I get issue number 1. You come in 6 months from now, a year from now, you get issue number 1. And it's a fixed term. So maybe it's a 6-month or a 12-month or a 2-year. Or maybe it's ongoing and you just got to stay one ahead. Let's take a deep breath. So I was going to end it there. And tomorrow talk about the product stack. But we're still going. How you feeling? You guys ready? You want to keep going? Give me a yes. While we're taking a little break, because I want to talk about products now and creating all this product stack and how it all comes together. If you're and we're only halfway done with this class today. If you're liking it again, I know some of you have not left a comment, or some of you didn't do it the last class. Go here and take 30 seconds, please. RyanLee.com/FB. Just leave a little comment, because I'm going to put these things in when I eventually sell this as a course. And the more people can see real people are actually finding value in this, the more it helps. So I really, really appreciate it. And I see all of these comments, and I remember. So that's a little commercial as I'm catching my breath. And then if you have not yet, Backstage Pass. Got to Backstage Pass this, baby. All these handouts, every class, all the bonuses, some bonuses that have never been released before. A lot of good stuff. It's just, right now, it's $99. It's the lowest price it's ever going to be, because it is going to go up. Okay. Caught my breath. Product stack. So the flagship brings them in. We talked about this. And the stack is the profit. The products on the back end is the profit. And the more offers you make, the more money you're going to make. That's it. That's the game. More products, more offers. People want things that are new. Okay? I'm going to say it again. They want things that are new. So you have to provide new stuff and find new spins and hooks on it. Because if they're really into a market, they're going to buy other products too. And if you don't offer it to them, they're going to buy it somewhere else. I mean, I'm not delusional. I know most of you have bought products from other people that teach online business. And I know that because I'll see some of you I'm Facebook friends with, and I'll see you like, oh, I'm at this mastermind group. Okay, cool. Like, I get it. I don't own you, right? You're going to, and when people are really involved in the market, they're going to buy multiple things. Like, if you're really into marketing, you probably own a bunch of marketing books. If you're into personal development, you probably own a bunch of personal development books. You're not buying one. So we have to get over that idea of they're only going to follow me and, they're not listening to anyone else. But that's also why you have to kind of stay ahead and have new, fresh offers and new things that get them excited about it. So do you put all your eggs in one basket with one product and say, this is my product, this is my program, this is it, this is the only thing I'm selling? Which, okay, that's a model, but if your egg breaks, you're in trouble. So I like to look at product creation as multiple eggs in multiple baskets in the same market. I'm not talking about expanding markets, I'm talking about in your niche. So looking at it in this way of putting it in 4 different baskets. There's products and programs. Now this is different than e-com. I'm talking more like information and advice, right? There's products and programs that are going to be under 100. There's products and programs that are going to be between 100 to 1,000. Products and programs that are $1,000 and plus. And then there's going to be programs that have a recurring billing to it. And within each of these, it could be anything, right? $1,000 can be a course or can be a coaching package. It could be an event, an in-person or an online event. Recurring revenue can be a subscription to a newsletter. It could be a membership site. It could be a coaching group. It could be a Zoom group. It could be one-on-one email coaching, $500 a month. You get access to me, right? Or it could be a 6-hour course and it's $299. But what I want you to do now is on a piece of paper, write down the 4 things: under 100, 100 to 1,000, $1,000 plus, and recurring. So write down these 4 categories, and we're not going to have time to do it now, but this is going to be one of your homework assignments. Like, start mapping it out. If you had to, and I'm not saying you have to create all these products, but let your brain expand to, okay, if I had to create 2 products under every single price point, what would they be? And this stretches your brain to start thinking, okay, here's what I could start looking at creating and products, and scratch itches for different people. There are some people who want to spend more. And there are some people, there's a certain percentage of your market that will spend, they'll buy everything you have. I know some of you buy all my products. And thank you, by the way. Some of you might come in at one product, and you might spend $1,000 for a product, or you might pay me X number of dollars to spend, you might say, okay, Ryan, I want to do a $10,000 day with you. And some might say, I'm just going to buy this for $99. So they're going to come in at different price points and different products, but offering a mix does tend to lead to a healthier business. So they're not going to buy, so not everyone will buy every product. Some people will. 5% maybe, or 10%, your hyper buyers are going to really like what you do and your vibe and what you teach, and they're going to buy all your stuff. And that's great. Like, take care of them. But not everyone will, and you can't get annoyed and frustrated. I've learned that lesson. And I used to get annoyed when I'd see someone who, and there was one person I called her out once, where I told you because she was all over the place. She was going to 100 different things. And I told her, okay, here's your plan. Let's just do this. She said, okay, I'm in. I'm going to do this one thing. I'm going to do this strategy. I'm going to build this program. And then 3 weeks later, I see her at some like cheesy $25,000 like affiliate thing. I'm like, oh my God. So, but I don't get frustrated anymore. I'm like, if that's what makes you happy, then I wish you the best. So you can't get frustrated if people come in and out And some people are going to come in and out of your world. Some of you were with me years ago and rediscovered me again. Some of you never left. Some of you are with me now, and you're going to be gone in a month. You might be gone by tomorrow. Can't take it personally. That's an internal thing you need to work on, because it's going to make you miserable if you take it personally. So where do we start with this? I taught this in one of my classes, and it really resonated because people can get this concept. And I like this. I like thinking of your products and testing products as a pilot strategy. And when I say pilot, like your pilot season, does everyone know with TV, they have a pilot where they'll film an episode or a couple episodes? They'll film a pilot episode, and then they'll do a pilot season where they're just kind of testing things. Because the only way you're going to know what's going to sell is to actually sell. This is different than doing the short 60-second, 30-day video challenge. That's seeing like what people are interested in and what are potential hooks that you could maybe talk about. But that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to buy it. So how do we know if they're going to buy? By selling. That's it. It's the only way you know. Nothing else is going to tell you if they're going to buy. No amount of research is going to tell you with 100% certainty if people are going to buy your product. So, it's never ever going to be perfect. Never. I can go through my books, my programs, I can find spelling errors. After this program's done, I'm like, oh man, I should have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have said that. Never going to be perfect. Get over it. If you're looking for perfection, you're in the wrong biz, cuz this is not it. Not it at all. It's never going to be perfect. Make it good. Focus on the value and the quality of the content versus the delivery and the editing. But I think people will be much more forgiving of lower production quality or misspellings or stuff like that if your heart's in it. If your heart is in it and they can feel it, they're giving you more leeway. Just like you guys know, I'm not playing a game here. I'm all in teaching this to you. And you know that, and you're willing to give me a little bit more leeway with stuff. Versus if I was a cheesy, marketing, hard pitchy type person, I'd have a much shorter rope. Do the same thing. So I love showing this example. Name the show. Who's the first one who's going to name the show? Type it in if you're watching live. Let's see who gets this right. If you were in one of my previous courses and I did this, you probably know the answer. But does anyone know this show? Okay, JJ is the first to answer. He said Saved by the Bell. We got another Saved by the... We got Head of the Class. It's not Head of the Class. And by the way, how many of you said it was Saved by the Bell? You know what? You're wrong. Pilot season, it was called Good Morning, Miss Bliss. That's right. That was the initial show was called that, and it was about the teacher and her classroom. It wasn't called Saved by the Bell. That was their pilot. It shows you don't get it right the first time. Yeah. Rich was surprised. He said, what? You got me. Yep. That was the pilot. So, they rebranded, changed the cast, and it sometimes your first thing is your Good Morning, Miss Bliss. And by the way, I did say pilot season. Pilot season. There you go. Oh, you're right. Pilot episode. But pilot season that's what they did, right? They tried a different name, a different angle, the teacher-based thing, didn't work, changed it. They didn't say, well, everyone knows us as Good Morning, Miss Bliss. We can't change the name and the cast. They said, let's try something different. And they found their groove. And they had Mr. Belding. and some other cast of characters here. AC Slater. So, if Zach can do this, you can do this. Which means you don't get so emotionally attached to your first product and program. And that's where people screw it up. They put something out and like, okay, this is it. Come hell or high water, I'm all in. I'm not changing the name or anything, and I'm sticking to it. And if it doesn't work, then you get frustrated. You say, this whole thing doesn't work, it's all a scam, and then you're gone. But if you come in with the idea that I'm putting this out and this is my pilot season, let's see what happens. It takes all the pressure off and you get to look at it as experimenting. So it's a process. Very rarely do you hit it out of the gate. I showed you these examples the other day. Lewis, my buddy Lewis Howes. His was all about LinkedIn. That was like his pilot season to greatness. Right? Greatness Academy, the School of Greatness. Gary Vaynerchuk, his pilot season was Wine TV. I mean, look at the difference. Right? And now he has his own social media company and brands and sneakers, I think. So, this was his pilot season. This is now. My pilot season was in the fitness industry and then teaching fitness marketing. And now here's where I've landed. Took me a while to get here, but I'm here. Second act. That's why we're here. Everything leading up to this has been your pilot season, and we're just going to come in and attack it from a playful perspective. So even if you want to expand your brand and do all these other things, we have to start really tight and test. So pilot pricing. So this is all like the back end stuff, right? You start with one-time products. So you sell them and you see what resonates. Now, why I recommend starting with one-time products versus recurring revenue. Recurring revenue are much more difficult to sell, difficult to convert, and you're kind of locked into creating stuff then. And it's harder to test what's working on a membership thing, because if you sell someone in on a membership on a recurring with one promise and then you keep shifting, it's going to be disjointed. And a lot of them are going to leave because they're going to feel like, well, I signed for this and now it's this and now it's this. I've made that mistake, so trust me on this. So offer it for a pilot price. And big takeaway here. If you want to do a recurring revenue program and you're not 100% sure if you're all in, or you don't have a list, you're not sure, do not either do lifetime or year. Because if it doesn't work, you're going to owe people. I've made the rookie mistake again just recently. I did the same thing. I did a year, and I shouldn't have. I should have just made it monthly. Should have. That was my bad. But if you're going to do a recurring as a test, then make it monthly. So then if it's not working, you have an out. Hey guys, we did it for a month. It just wasn't clicking, it wasn't connecting, so we're just going to cancel. You're not going to be rebuilt. Versus, hey, you just paid for a year. Now I have to either refund you or owe you all this other stuff. So make it lower price so you can test fast. If it's going to be a live thing, like a live cohort-based course, then don't do it any more than 4 weeks. Because if it doesn't work, and you get 3 people, and you just did it a 6-month program, now you're locked in, and now you're going to be really resentful of everyone who signed up by month 2. And if it's recorded, make it shorter, 3 hours or less. If it's written, under 100 pages. This is just testing back-end products. This is your pilot season. So how does it fit together? Which programs do you start with? You let them battle it out. So phase 1, this is when we start figuring out big stuff. The hooks, the overall concept, and direction. And so, for example, here's what the battle might be. A 2-hour workshop that you recorded live, and we're using the topic of real estate. How to flip your first house. And it's a $59 product. We're testing the concept. Flip your own house. Are people even interested in this idea? Before I build out a massive membership site or tech stack or all this other stuff, $59 for a 2-hour workshop, how to flip your first house. Okay? We're getting people in the world, and we're selling it. Let's see what happens. The second product that we launched is a 2-hour workshop, live or recorded. Same delivery, same format, same price, different topic. How to start an Airbnb. Okay, so we're not comparing the price. It's not like one was $100 and one was $50, and the $50 sold better. So we don't know if it was price, and we don't know if one was a 7-hour, one was 2-hour, the same price, and the 7-hour sold better. We don't know if it was because of the time. It's very hard to do multivariable testing. People say, oh, they try to look smart. Oh, multivariate testing. When reality is just go real simple. Concept. And then you see what sold better. Because we don't know. You might say, oh, I think How to Flip Your First House is going to sell like crazy to my audience, and Airbnb crushes it. So you can't change too many variables. We're testing concept. So maybe the result is the Airbnb thing sold 30% more. Okay. So do you be stubborn and say, but I want to teach people how to flip houses? And you go to that. Okay, that's path one. Or do you say, I can teach Airbnb. I've done it. I like talking about it. And this is what people want. So let me now lean into that. So you've got your concept. And now you start experimenting with the deliverable. So I'm putting Flip Your First House on pause. That's on hold. I'm not giving up on it forever, but I'm putting that in the back burner for now. Right now, I'm going to focus on Airbnb. So we know that concept resonates. Now, we start testing different products. So let me try an Airbnb DFI, a done-for-you marketing packet. So here, it's $79. You're going to get the checklists and contracts and forms and all of that. It's just like done for you. If you have an Airbnb, here's your packet, here's your binder, print it out, and you're good to go. And it's $79. So you're in the Airbnb market. That's the product deliverable. And the one maybe you test it against is you co-host a program. How to rent more Airbnb with YouTube. Because maybe they want more of the information, and that's what they're interested in, more in digital marketing information. So are the checklists working, or is it more about the information? We don't know. But it's funny because many of us come right to the renting, the information, when maybe these things sell like crazy. The checklist, the forms. So the results, same price, right? $79 each. So which one sold better? Maybe this one sold better, the Airbnb done-for-you marketing packet for $79. So now you have that winner, and now you compare it against the first one, the 2-hour $59 workshop, and now you start experimenting with pricing and offers. So now you start experimenting, and you do another product, and now you test price. So I know I could sell it at $59. What if I go a little bit up market and try to sell it for $129? And it's a 2-hour workshop, how to get more Airbnb rentals with Facebook or Facebook ads. And now you compare it to the $59. Which one sold better? Maybe this one sold less, but I made more money. And what are you going for? Are you going for more impact or money? That's a question only you can answer. I put a light bulb here, and I highlighted co-host because, and I could do a whole day on this topic. You don't have to do all of the information yourself. You can co-host products and programs, especially once you start getting momentum. So I had a program I did, we've done 2 versions already of it, called My Peeps, which is a list building. Let's be real, it's the best list building course in the world. And I co-hosted with Travis Spiegel. Travis is an incredible behind-the-scenes list builder. He actually was the one who I modeled his Facebook ads training, and that's why my ads right now are profitable for this program. And by the way, yes, that is in woo! That's in the Backstage Pass, How to Be Your Own Media Buyer, where Travis gives here's a fresh new campaign. He shows how to set up your own ads and get your own traffic. But I digress. We did a co-hosted program where I was the host, and it was all his content. So he created the whole presentation, and we marketed it to my audience and did a rev share. And it was easy. It's what people wanted. They wanted to do list building. He was much better because he spent $100 million on Facebook ads. So he knows it better than me. So I'm not going to try to teach it and fumble my way through it. So if there's something that's related to your topic that you think people would like, but you don't have that expertise, it doesn't mean you can't create it. Co-create it. So if Travis was really good at running Facebook ads for Airbnb, we could team up. Let him create the content I host, and we do a revenue share, and we sell it to my audience. Now, there's a difference between doing a product together and building a company. We didn't build a company. We did a product, we did a rev share, and we said, we're going to do it for this time. It's going to be a 4-week course. We do it, split rev, and there you go. Don't make the mistake of thinking now you have to partner with everyone and set up separate LLCs and all that kind of stuff. You don't, nor should you. This is like one time, let's do a product and let's see what happens. And if you want to partner with them and create a whole different company, do this baby step anyway first. Don't jump into bed with them. Partnerships are really tough to make work, but they could do a majority of the heavy lifting. I did another one too with Mary Agnes about content creation. I actually included that as well. Her whole content media calendar. Have you guys seen that? Her in the Backstage Pass. Yes, Backstage Pass again. That is also uploaded. So she did a whole course for me called Micro Famous, where she went through her whole system of content strategy. And the first class is in there as a bonus. But that's another person. With her, I can't give the exact details, but I did different things. With Travis, because he also does have a list, we did a rev share. Mary Agnes, we just did it really clean. I paid her a flat fee. And then I keep whatever it is. Now, there was more risk because I paid her quite a good amount of money. However, now I own the rights to it, so I could just sell it to my audience and not have to pay her a royalty. She's actually been on the program. And she was happy because she got a significant amount of money for 4 hours of training. And I'm happy because I've made back the investment. I'm able to make more. We don't have to worry about splitting revenue. So they both can work. But you have a little bit more risk on the front, but you have more upside on the back if you do a flat fee. So that's a co-hosted product. So another one you could test now, a 4-week, your first Airbnb from scratch for $299. So you're doing it maybe as a live cohort group, and you're upping the price. We're testing your audience. We're testing your market. We're seeing what's selling. And this is all stuff you're selling after you get them in the flagship. Right? You got them in, and now you're creating new offers. And you're testing, you're seeing what's working. And maybe it's done for you social media posts, and that could be $49 a month, and they get in Canva done for you social media where they could then copy, paste, and then put it on their own social media and keep 100% of whatever profit they make. And that's a recurring revenue program to test. So that's all it is. This is your pilot season. You're creating, you're digging in, you're testing, you're seeing what's working, you're letting people vote with their wallets. One thing might be a runaway, one might be a bomb, one might be maybe I'll do it again. Maybe I do 2.0. Travis and I did My Peeps. It worked really well, and we updated My Peeps 2.0. We kept the same core course, and we added a few new trainings to it. We gave the people who bought My Peeps 1.0 a discount, and the new people bought. And we're going to open it up again. So we're just testing different buckets. Here's a $59 done for you. Here's a $49 a month done for you. Social media. Here's a more expensive program for $300. And I like creating new offers, and not everyone can keep up with my my work on this because it is pretty aggressive. But I like creating new offers every 6 to 8 weeks. Meaning after this is done, something new is coming. And it might be, I might reopen list building. I might create and put a new twist on it. I might do a new video course, especially as I'm doing new live things. It could be a mastermind, a limited time mastermind. I don't know yet. I'm not thinking a year ahead. I'm thinking a few weeks and looking at your comments. I'm seeing all your comments and I'm paying attention to all this stuff. Because there's going to be things that come up. That I'm like, okay, that actually could be a course in and of itself. It could be a $50, 2-hour. It could be a 4-week, $500. So how do you improve your chance of creating winners? We start creating products that resonate. Okay, so here are the trends happening, and I've talked about this. I talked about this yesterday. The big trend, the big macro trend of saving time. So condensing the deliverable. Because no one in the world wakes up and says, gee, I wish I had a 12-module course about how to grow petunias. You know, but yet we think they do. That's the headline. 12-week course on how to grow better petunias. And you think that's a benefit, and it's not. It's a hindrance. Ken just said, I like the pilot season vibe. Yeah, I brought this back because I remember when I taught it the first time, people really seem to like this. It just makes so much sense, and it lets you test, and it takes the pressure off you thinking you have to hit a winner right out of the gate, because we often don't. And the other trend is getting as close to do it for me as possible. So there's like the done for you line, right? Where there's self-study and done for you. So where are you along that? Right? The closer you are to the done for you, the more you can charge. People want templates and follow along. Do you offer community? How much can you help them? How close can you get for done for you? Done for you recipes, done for you workouts, done for you meditations, done for you ads, done for you ads so I can get you Airbnb listings. Where are you along that line? There are some who want self-study. But even if they want self-study, the closer you can at least get it to a done for you, the better your chance of success. So, again, checklists, templates, follow-alongs, databases, all that kind of stuff, right? So, even if you're creating a course, adding in templates and checklists as bonuses. So what you have to do, and let's save some questions to the end, because I'm getting a little distracted with all the questions coming in. So start with the most common pain point, right? Where's their biggest pain and their challenge and their roadblock? Start there first. Okay? Start there first. So creating a simple niche solution with a unique hook. So let's see what that looks like. So the problem might be, let's say you want to do YouTube. Right? How do I come up with titles and hooks for my YouTube video? Obviously, the closest you get to done for you would be, I'm going to actually write them for you. But instead of that, I'm going to give you the hooks. I've been creating hooks, so I'm going to give you the ones that are working. And this is one that I found. The Creator Hooks Pro, where it's $20 a month, and this person goes through and finds the best viral hooks and puts them in a database every month. So that's a $20 a month solution. The problem, YouTube hooks, instead of me searching through YouTube and trying to figure it out myself, he went through and finds the best ones for you. That's what I mean by getting closer to done for you. Versus, hey, it's a course and I'm going to show you how to create a hook. That can work, but this is probably going to work better. So instead of always going immediately towards how do I give a big theory and the big teaching, how do you get it to like programs and done for you and systems where people can just take and go? I hope this is making sense in terms of getting you thinking differently about creating products and programs. Now, if you're thinking about, well, what am I talking about? I've mentioned this before. There's a ton of competition in generalities, so often your hook is too wide. That's why I say go smaller. You can always expand later, but it's better to start smaller. So if you look at Dummies, right, the Dummies books, here's two. Here's starting big, right? Share investing or online share investing. And you see there's differences even right there. Do I want to learn about share investing? Okay, here's a book. And what about online share investing? You see how it's gotten even tighter. You take something that feels tight and you could tighten it up even more. And then you could go even deeper, right? Online investing, cryptocurrency investing, ESG investing. We think we're niched, and we're often not even close. Not even close. Then some people start to play both sides, right? Here's high-powered investing for dummies, and here's investing in an uncertain economy. So can you potentially play both sides? Here's how to save, here's how to save your marriage, and here's another program called How to Date After, right? Playing both sides. Not as easy, but I want to show you all the different options and opportunities. This is so good. Thank you, Chris and Susan. I knew you guys would like this one. If you are, let's take a little 10-second time out and just drop a little comment here. I mean, I really think this is I hope you find that this course is offering more value than these $3,500, $5,000 courses. I told you from the beginning, I was not holding anything back. I'm not I'm just going to teach you, I'm going to dust around. I want you, by the end of this, to say, okay, I've got everything. I got the whole strategy. I know how all the pieces come together. Because I want you to win. I want you to win so you stick around and then you buy more stuff. Let's go. So if you want to charge premium prices, this is the truth. You get closer to harder topics. And what I mean by soft and hard topics, softer topics are going to be hobbies, knitting, gardening, and then you start moving to the middle, a little bit more personal development, health. The harder topics are how to make money or investing and things of that nature. So if you are really good at gardening, you could sell a product for $50, how to grow an organic garden in your backyard. You could then do a program, how to make an organic garden in your backyard and sell it at the local flea market, and now it's a $500 product. Because now there's a return on investment. Okay? So I'm not saying you have to go into that market. I'm just saying if you want to charge premium prices, then it's moving it from how to get fit to how to make money as a fitness pro. Soft topic to a hard topic. How do you simplify your product creation? Like I said before, workshops, online or in person. I like that. I like setting a date. I like having the commitment and the energy and the production. Cohorts. Cohort programs, I've been doing a lot of these lately, where you get people on all going through a program together at the same time. I've tried 6-week, I've done 4-week, I've done 2-week, I've done 1 week. I'm finding actually 2-week tends to work really well. And we do 2 classes a week. We'll do a Monday, Thursday on 1 week, and then Monday, Thursday the next. We do that for 2 weeks, and there's 4 classes. That seems to be a pretty good number. 4 weeks work as well. As 4-week cohorts can work well. You just give people a little bit more time, especially if there's more intensive assignments they have to do. I do like cohorts. And demos and over the shoulder. I was messing around recording some fitness videos in my backyard by the pool. And demos and over the shoulders work well. Especially things that are really visual. It's very hard to do a fitness program without showing people how to do the exercises. And it's hard to show someone how to build a site without actually showing them how to build it. Written content. Right? We've talked a lot about written content, packaging up, and newsletters and digital products, but you're going to have to have a little bit more bulk to start charging premium processes. So now if we start playing this out, and we're going to start wrapping this up soon, you start looking at, okay, how do I want this to look from a product perspective? And there's a few ways you can go. Number one is, I showed this example the other day with the Miracle Morning. Do you want your products all to have the same name and look and feel? Like, do you have one brand, Superflex, for runners, for baseball players, for accountants, for soccer moms, or, so one brand, one name, and everything kind of looks and feels the same, like Dummies or The Idiot's Guide to, that kind of thing. And this works, right? Or my buddy Mike Michalowicz, where he has multiple brands and they all have a different look and feel. So he has Profit First and Clockwork and Fix This Next and All In, and these are all different topics, and every product looks different. Same big thing under his personal name, Mike Michalowicz, and all under business, but everything is its own, feels different. And they both work. It just depends on where your brain goes. But you want to start thinking about that. How is this all going to look and play together? And I'm curious, which one feels better for you? The idea is, for you, is it more of a Miracle Morning where everything has a similar look, kind of feel, looks like it's part of the same family? Or everything feels a little bit more different? Which one feels better for you? And I go back and forth. There's some days I like the same, but I'm kind of leaning towards this more the Michalowicz kind of thing. And then there's someone like Gabby who's had a lot of products, and she's simplified her business. She basically just has one thing, just her app now. Like, that's her main product, the one app. So, is that what you want your business to look like? Are you like, I'm going all in with recurring revenue, and that's it? Like, I'm not going to do multiple products, just recurring revenue, and that's the thing. One person, one brand, one thing. It works. So figuring out what it is you want to do. But we covered a lot today. I told you this was supersized. There was a lot. Because it's a big topic. And I know you guys wanted to get into like the tactical stuff, right? And you wanted to see that. You wanted to see what are products and what are ideas and how does this all start to come together. So hopefully by now it's all coming together. So I want you to start writing down, what do you want your front end flow to look like? And what do your back end products start looking like as well? What does that look like on the back with all these different products you can start creating? And coming up in the next class, we're going to start now rolling this stuff out. What does the site look like and the sales page, and how do we start getting more sales and putting all this stuff together? Because we're going step by step by step. So we're going to break all this stuff down. And again, if you have not yet upgraded to Backstage Pass, here's your chance. And you only have 2 more days, because after this it is going to come down. Then I'm going to put it back up as a premium product. So if you do want all this stuff, I suggest you jump in now. It's $99 and you get everything. And the bonus is you're going to be blown away. They're between the docuseries and the one I just added yesterday with the 18,000 member case study. I promise you, if you like this and my style and how I teach, you're going to love it. So go there. And if you like this class today and you have like some big ahas and breakthroughs, if you could just take 30 seconds, RyanLee.com/FB, I'd really, really appreciate it. But as always, our next class is coming tomorrow. Number 8. We're putting it together. We're building the site. We're converting to sales. I need to rest because it does take a lot out of me doing this stuff. Thankfully, we just opened our pool, so I think I'm going to jump in the hot tub. God, I'm an idiot. But thank you for being here and investing your time. If you're in the Backstage Pass, I'll see you inside the Backstage Pass. If not, you can upgrade now. Thank you for the Facebook comments. Everyone leaving comments there. I appreciate it. And thank you for helping spread the word. And I really, again, I want you to just start taking action. I know there's a lot. I'm trying not to make it overwhelming, but I don't want to leave out any pieces where you're like, well, I don't know what to do with that. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next class. Number 8 coming up. See ya. Bye-bye.